So as humans, we spend roughly 70% of our days in either fight or flight response. So it's very common for most humans to be stressed, anxious, worried, but it's not actually how our Creator designed for us to be. And it's not healthy. And these types of emotions resonate at lower frequencies. So how can you shift to more positive emotions and release emotions that may be stored or trapped in your biofield? And how can you do this simply, right? And effectively? Today, we're going to dive into this topic and answer some more questions with simple and effective solutions. So are you ready? So we're going to talk about this topic of our thoughts and our emotions, and they actually are energy. If you think back to some other live videos that we've done talking about everything is a vibrational resonance. It's vibrating at a specific resonance, and so that it has waves, it has a vibrational frequency, and emotions themselves are vibrational frequency or energy. They are in fact energy that exists or resonates at specific vibrational frequencies. We've actually learned how to measure those. Different scientists and physicists, Dr. David Hawkins is one of them, who has measured these, and what we think of as positive emotions, so to speak, like love, gratitude, they resonate at actually a higher frequency. And what we tend to think of as maybe a negative emotion, which I like to think of as big emotions, because God created all of them, like anger or fear, those actually resonate at lower frequencies. And one of the things that Dr. Hawkins proposed is, for instance, the vibrational frequency of joy is 540 hertz, but the vibrational frequency of anger is as low as 150 hertz. So the lower the vibrational frequency, the less life force or energy that exists in those cells in your body. In particular, those will also have less life force. So when you hear people say like, oh, he's so high vibe, or you're bringing my vibes down, or any of that stuff, that's not hooey wooey. There's actually scientific measurement related to those things. And so those cells, so let me go back. So the lower the vibrational frequency, the less life force that exists in the cell, and the higher the vibrational frequency, higher the life force or the energy that resonates in your cells. So what that means is if you're walking around feeling stressed or anxious, your body, your cells in particular, are going to have less life force, and they will operate at a lower vibrational frequency, which means that is what is going to keep your body, your physical body, in a state of sickness, or it can set you up for sickness. So what does that look like on kind of a physical level? Because let's face it, all this stuff that we're talking about frequencies sometimes seems a little tough to grasp physically, visibly. So let's take laughter, for example. Laughter is a high vibrational frequency. And, many people say laughter is medicine. The Bible even talks about laughter and joy being medicine to the body. Science backs that up. In fact, saying that that's true. Hundreds of peer-reviewed studies showing that laughter decreases inflammatory cytokines, which actually then lowers inflammation in your body, which lowered inflammation in the body is critical to being able to reverse or prevent diseases. Laughter also kills cancer cells by increasing your natural killer cells activity. Laughter has been shown to lower blood glucose levels, lower blood pressure, has been shown to improve memory in elderly, even boost your immune system by increasing T cells. So this is just one example of how an emotion can elicit changes, physical changes in the body, and it does that through vibrational frequencies. Now, I want to show you just kind of a another tangible way of looking at this. You guys have seen this device before. This is my AO Scan mobile device. And actually, let me put it back on myself here, so I'm not giving away privacy things. I'm going to put it back on myself. The AO Scan device, we've talked about in the past how this is a biofeedback device that actually is able to measure emotions that are vibrating in the body, how different organs are vibrating in the body, and it's able to scan those and then also give optimization for those. And that's a whole nother topic. But I want to show you. So I did a scan this morning on my emotions through my voice. So I recorded my voice and it analyzed those frequencies. And then it also looked at my vitals, so my blood biology, as it looks from a frequency standpoint, not a chemistry standpoint, and then my organs, my tissues, my blood, all those things. Now combined, I'm going to pull up my scan from this morning, and I'm going to click on comprehensive, and this is looking at a combination of the emotions and the blood biology. I'm going to click on that. And then I'm going to pull up something here called the database. And this runs in the background of this device. And this is pulling up, it's going to analyze the things that in my physical body, the organs, tissues, and things, how they, the things that were not in balance for today at the snapshot in time. And it's going to show what are some of the potential causes for those imbalances. And maybe that's bacteria, maybe it's a toxicity I've been exposed to, or maybe it's a food sensitivity or a heavy metal, or a mold or a parasite that are creating some of those imbalances within physical issues. Okay. So, we're looking at, these are the specific organs that were not in balance with this morning during my scan. So some connective tissues, some chromosomes that were not in balance. Both eyes were not in balance. Some nerves that were not in balance. You can see here some kidney, thyroid, lung, brain. So quite a few things this morning actually that were not in balance. Okay. So I'm going to show you here on each one of them. It'll tell how many different hits a potential cause had on that system. Okay, so let's look at blood cells. So for instance, bacteria had 1 hit, chemicals 0, food sensitivities 2, hormones 1, emotions 5 hits. So there were 5 different emotions that were playing a role in creating my blood cells not be in balance this morning. Okay, let's look at another one. Let's look at digestive. Okay, so digestive system, again, bacteria, 2 different hits, chemicals, 5 different hits, food sensitivities, 4 hits, heavy metals, 1, emotions, 11. So 11 different emotions that were playing a role, either a small role or a large role, in the frequencies of my digestive tract this morning. Okay. So when it comes to thinking about how our physical body is behaving, it goes back to how our emotions are behaving. Okay. So why are we usually only looking for answers or treatments that are found in a bottle or a syringe? Well, that's mainstream. And if I know you are not mainstream, or if you are, you're looking to get out of mainstream. Am I right? Western medicine is fantastic when it comes to traumas, or when it comes to this prevention or reversal of issues. The Western medicine system is not set up to address those conditions in that way. They're not going to be targeting these types of modalities that we're talking about here. Now, there are some clinics around the country who have begun to use vibrational frequencies in order to be either help bring healing or to help reduce pain. But it is a slow process. So let's talk about some of the techniques that I use in my practice as well as with my own family. So when we talk about frequencies or vibrations, usually that comes in the form of sound or light. So I don't have them here with me. When we talk about light therapy, we can use things like chromotherapy with my colored glasses. You guys may have seen some of the pictures that I have when I'm doing my inner voice balancing harmonics with chromotherapy. Even using things like red light therapy. There's a new device that I just learned about called the NeuroVisor that actually uses light therapy to retrain the brain using some of the optic nerves. Sound therapy. Music is very therapeutic. Songs that help bring back memories or emotions that a song elicits can get those emotions imprinted in your biofield. So, and I just finished doing a certification on Safe and Sound, which is all about retraining and retuning the acoustic nerves, and doing that through music and frequencies. So, now, one of the things that I love that is simple and effective is by doing the inner voice here. So I'll show you back here on the AO scan. Think of this as like a wellness clinic. Like if you walked into a wellness clinic, now you know you're not going to walk out of the wellness clinic healed, or you know that you're going to need to go there on a regular basis in order to continue to bring wellness for your body. Well, think of that in this way. And each one of these little areas is a different wellness room. So we're talking about this inner voice right here. And what this does is it records a little 10-second clip of your voice. And those of you who know, our emotions are stored in our voice. And so when it records those, it's analyzing 8,000 to 10,000 different frequencies coming through in our tone, our pitch, our intonation. And it's taking those and it's pulling out the highest frequencies as well as the lowest frequency, because that's where we're either overactive in a specific emotion or suppressing an emotion. And we're going to talk about that in just a minute, about suppressing an emotion and how that affects the body, especially with kids. So I'm going to show you just an example here. So I'm going to click on the microphone button. It's going to count me down, and I'm going to say my name because that's a true statement my brain recognizes as true vibrationally. So I'm going to say, I'm Amy Miller, and this is my inner voice scan for today. And I'm using this 10-second time to show and demonstrate how this works. Okay, so it's finished. And you'll see here, it's going to show that my top, it just updated. My top 3 frequencies that were out were A, F, and B. And then it's going to give me customized frequencies, harmonics, that are going to help to bring balance to those. And that's in the form of D sharp, B, and F. And then my lowest frequency was C sharp here. And the supportive frequency for that is G. So then I can play those. Now, normally I would play those with some over-the-ear headphones so that I can hear those more, because it's going to be affecting both sides of the brain. And I'm going to play those, and each one takes about 3 minutes, or if you use the other side, it actually can do them more quickly if you don't have enough time, as much time. But the point of this is also to sit and spend some time taking in, breathing, and resetting the mind, maybe when your nervous system is a little out of balance, right? To bring really some emotional detox and emotional balance back to the body. So, because if you have a physical disease, or even if you don't have a physical disease, you must address energetic balance, which is through emotional detox. So let's talk about kids for just a minute, because we were trained as kids to suppress our emotions, and we need to learn how to process through those emotions. And if you have kids, how to help your kids process through those and return to joy. And I would venture to say that emotional detox is actually more important even than the foods that you're putting in your body, which is a huge statement for me to make. For those of you who know, here at 3 Life Essentials, we focus on our spiritual foundation, and then we move forward through the foods that we're putting in our body, our movement, our stress, our sleep, and moving through those lifestyle components. But really, if we've got to be able to address those emotions really as part of our spiritual foundation as well. So one of the things that I am learning to do is when my child is hurt, I'm going to sit beside them and help them move through that emotion. So instead of seeking to kind of go into mom mode of it, taking the hurt away, sitting beside them and letting them know it's all right to feel how you feel. I'm going to help you through this and return to joy. And then we kind of work through the big 6 emotions. You guys have heard me talk about those years ago. If you want, I'll connect to our blog here about that, about the big 6 emotions and how to return to joy. So we kind of work through that process, but learning how to understand and listen to what your body is telling you, acknowledging that emotion, and then it's in a safe place, and then it can leave. So the emotion needs to be acknowledged and then told it can leave. Because if not, it can lead to suppressed emotion. And if an emotion is suppressed, it will continue to affect your physical body, even if you're no longer thinking about it. Our bodies are very good at protecting us, and we will have a tendency to disassociate, and we will separate the emotion from the event, and we'll think that we're okay, that we've moved past it, even if we can talk about the event without crying or having some emotion, but the body will actually still continue to relive that event, and it will release those toxic chemicals of that suppressed emotion, that lower vibrational frequency, and you'll end up creating a space in the body for disease to grow. So I know that's not what you want. That's not what I want. So let's talk through just a couple of just go-to practices to manage these stressors, and then I'm going to give you an action item because I want you to take action on this today. Okay, so and the reason you want to have several go-to tools in your toolbox for this is because many times you're going to need to maybe combine them before you begin to see that shift in your nervous system and your emotion. So number 1, always go to is prayer and meditation. If you want a good place to start, the Soul Space app is fantastic for that. Number 2 is beginning with gratitude, thankfulness. The Bible talks about entering his courts with thanksgiving, entering into God's presence with praise. We have to start there and get our left and right brain in sync so that we can return to joy, okay? I also love using essential oils. And then the last thing I loved using is retuning my brain through acoustic therapy, or because our body needs those acoustic feedback loops to retrain that nervous system. And so I want to invite you to take action today and either, number 1, either request a complimentary InnerVoice scan from me, or number 2, register for our upcoming 21-day InnerVoice challenge, and that starts next Monday, April 3rd. And I'll put the link below, or actually, if you want a complimentary InnerVoice scan, let me know below. If you want more information on the 21-day InnerVoice scan, let me know that, and I will send you the correct information, whichever one you're requesting. So any questions? I want you to take action today on emotional detox in your life, because I want you to be able to help your physical body by addressing the cause of the cause of the cause. Okay. You guys know this is my wheelhouse of getting to the root cause. So I appreciate you joining with me, even if you're watching on the recording. And I hope you have a wonderful week. Be well.